Here are two what I think of as very powerful tools for thinking about questions in maths exams. It's a bit abstract. I'd say this could help you if you're quite an advanced student or if you're very abstract or wordy in how you think. Otherwise, might be a bit too awkward. Okay, what does an easy question look like? Well, in an easy question, you start with the information. And then you have to calculate the answer. What do I mean? Maybe you're given the width and height of a rectangle, and you have to find out the area. What about a difficult question? Whoops. What about a difficult question? Well, then you're given the answer. And you're asked to find some of the information. So maybe you're told that the area is 15. And you're asked to find out what the height is. Now, students that I've trained up will find this very easy, generally. Because they'll just go, oh, well, I just have to do width times height equals area. So, h times 5 equals 15. So h equals 3 if I divide both sides by 5. But a lot of students who have been trained to think in terms of the information will struggle because they'll go, oh, I don't have an equation that has that information. Or if they've been trained to think about the answer, they might be going, well, I don't have an equation that tells me what the height of a rectangle is. But you see, I would train my students to say, I need an equation that includes the area, the height, and the width, because presumably we've been told the width in the question. And that's it. And we don't care which ones we know and which ones we don't know. We write the equation down, and only then do we start writing the numbers in. Okay, this is the second and last sort of page we're going to look at. This is another way of thinking about exam questions. An easy question is one where you've got some information, you have to use a skill, maybe differentiation, and then you find out what the answer is. And a difficult question is one where, well, I don't really need to spell it out, do I? You have to use two skills, so maybe you have to differentiate, and then you use that thing maybe to substitute something to then find out what the answer is. Now, this is key, I think. This is aimed at more advanced students, so I'm going to talk like this. A lot of weaker students will never ever be able to do these difficult questions. I've had students where I just train and train and train them, and they never really get it. And in fact, my focus with weaker students is basically only on easy questions, and I never ever or single stage questions. And if it's a difficult question, I just train them to spot some things in there they can get marks on. So it's like, oh, do you recognise that that's the area of a rectangle? Make sure you write that equation down because you get a mark, that kind of thing. Anyway, but let's assume that you think you can do this. In which case, one of the questions I get asked is, how do I know which bit of information to use first and which skill to use first? Well, it depends. I mean, to a certain extent, I'm flailing around a bit. If you watch someone who's very good at maths, and I kind of, I think I'm probably quite good at maths, I'm doing a lot of flailing around in my head. I'm trying a lot of things, but I'm just doing it very fast. So it may look like I instantly work out what to do first. I don't. I spent ages in my head, where it felt like ages, going, could be that, no, could be that, could be that. So just take your time, keep thinking of things and trying things. And the other thing is, do you remember what we said on the first slide? Let's just go back to the first slide. This thing about you just write an equation down that fits the information available. You can kind of do that here. So you'll have been given a whole bunch of information. Let's just write all those equations down straight away. So we might be writing down things that we don't need straight away. And once you've written them all down, I think it's a lot easier to then go, oh, well, obviously I'd do that first and then I'd do the other thing second. So just to summarise, I think the whole thing is about write down what you see. So, oh, I can see that we've got some stuff about the area of a rectangle, write down the area of a rectangle. I can see I've got something about the gradient of the point of that polynomial, write down your differentiation. Oh, I can see that I've got something to do with the volume of a sphere, write down the equation. Oh, I can see that I know what the radius is. Well, then write down r equals 9. and so on and so on. And you write down all these equations and in maths language, and then I think it tends to flow quite easily. Okay, that'll do. If you're one of my students sent to read this, you'll go, watch this. You'll be like, oh yeah, Duncan's always going on about this, and so I sent you to watch this video because I just wanted you to see it again as another reminder to keep working on this approach. Good luck.